you very much for staying tuned to the NTA. This is the Medley Show with your girl, Simply Cecil. Well, good to know that you are healthy, staying away from the COVID-19, of course, which is pretty good to know. Now, last week on the program, we talked fitness and wellness. Many of you sent in messages. How bad, people? Majority of your messages were, how do I lose belly fat? How do I lose weight in the mid-region? You will just keep eating and eating and eating, and you're asking how I should lose the fat. Anyhow, we gave you some examples, told you about some exercises, some things you can do to lose weight in that region. You keep sending in these messages. The messages kept coming even after the program. So I thought, why not actually continue the discourse? But this time we'll talk diet and nutrition, of course, a little of some of the fitness gist. So I brought two guests with me in the studio. You get to meet them, but that'll be right after we take this feature. Since we're talking food, I thought we could do something around food. Now, out of the time, this guy, Aminu, he's a chef. So he did some prawns. He called it prawns of love. Well, let's have a look and get our mouth watered, and then the program will continue.
We're going to start with slicing our potatoes. So slice them into nice slices, not too thin, but you want them to cook quick enough. Attend to them later. So right now I would like to prepare my my onion rings. So I'll slice the onions as well. So next, we are going to prepare the batter for the onion rings. So we're going to need some milk, which is here. We can keep this aside for now till we're ready to dip the onion rings into a fryer. Okay, so we'll just keep that for now. All right. In the meantime, I can season the prawns. So these are beautiful jumbo prawns. Potatoes ready to be cooked as well. I still need to season the potatoes a little bit, very lightly, just with salt and black pepper. And our batter is ready, so I think that we're okay to move to the fire. We're cooking prawns of love. So here are the potatoes that I sliced earlier. I've seasoned them lightly with black pepper, salt, some herbs, and I'm going to fry them. I'm going to dry fry it, actually. I'm not deep frying it. You have some bits that are dark, and you have some bits that are still like almost raw, but not really. Like, you have so many different textures and so many different layers of flavor. Now we're going to start on the prawns. So we've got our seasoned prawns ready for the frying pan. So we're just gonna keep our prawns on the plate. This isn't the final presentation. Now we've prepared the onion rings, we've coated them, and now we're gonna fry them in the deep fryer. So let's see how they look in a few minutes. So I'll drop them gently. We're just gonna complete the dish with our sauce. So some olive oil goes in, and I'm gonna throw in some onion and some parsley. So this is our final sauce. Okay? This dish, so romantic. And I will just add my cream, let's say. I've turned up the fire, so we're ready to plate our dish. Maybe what I would prefer right now is that we meet when the dish is ready. But right now our dish is complete, our prawns of love.
Won't you be my, won't you be my, won't you be my, won't you be my, because I adore you, I'd give anything.
He's actually multi-talented. He also plays, I think, the guitar, keyboard, and all that stuff, apart from being a chef. Anyhow, now it's time for us to meet our guests. Like I told you, it's going to be a continuation on how to stay fit, healthy, well, as we go about and especially with the fact that many of us being on lockdown, we actually put on quite some weight. So we'll just talk all around that. So help me in welcoming. Should I start with? Let me start with dietitian Rosie. Please help me. I don't know. You know those people that they will just have one kind of complicated name. You know when you watch this Mexican soap, you know those kind of name that it has. Rose Valley.
I allowed it to just hang there and then wait for myself to when I see you landing down. I said, okay, that's a form of exercise on this.
Rose Valley.
Rose Valley.
Rose Valley. Uzoma. All right, Rose Valley, you're welcome. Rose Valley is a registered dietitian and nutritionist, and of course, she's the CEO of Rosie Creative Minds Consults. All right, Rosie, you're welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Nice hair. There was time I always do this edit. They now tag the hair, Cecil's hair. Okay. So I've stopped doing it. So I'm doing this one now. All right, I have next to Rose Valley, I have Dr. Kubiat.
Hi, good afternoon.
Akpanusong,
yes.
Akpanusong.
Yes.
She's a medical director, health and fitness coach, and of course, you also run Get Fit
with Scoops.
Yes. Get Fit with Scoops. All right, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
All right, yeah. Don't allow me to say what's in my mind. Fitness. The two of you are fit in your own ways. Oh, what's fitness? Do I need to be slim and trendy? Like, I need to be healthy and full of life. Like,
And all right, having me, it's very funny that you brought up this topic because you are going to see a very different type of dietitian entirely. So the thing is, when you talk about fitness, it simply means keeping fit. And in keeping fit, what do you do to keep fit? From my own aspect, aside the exercise, I refer to your adequate nutrition. What is adequate nutrition? What does it comprise of? And how do I know that I'm feeding right and I'm eating right? Especially in this aspect where somebody will be telling you, irrespective of everything I have done, I am still gaining weight. The truth is, food, generally, now common sense will tell us, as common as the word is, food, it simply means whether in liquid form or solid form, those chemical substances you take into your body to nourish the body. Once you take them in, they can either be of the major, that's the macro, which is the energy giving. Don't faint, don't faint. Don't faint, don't faint.
You know, these people, they all, I just ask them a simple question. They all start talking with terminologies. When I come to Kubi now, she's going to tell me from her own point of view and everything.
It's better that they
rest your thoughts. Continue with your thoughts. Let me just round up on your thoughts. Let me.
All right. It's knowing those ones that are the energy givers and the protective and defending foods.
Is that the 7 or 6 classes of food they taught us when we were in school?
And you'll be singing it and reciting it while you're walking on the road to be sure that you're not even bringing down anything. But the general society has placed its concern on the carbs. and saying, carbs this, carbs that. Okay, I'll just have to pause it for now.
Okay, let's pause it for now. Kumi,
Yes.
fitness and nutrition, what does it mean to be fit for you? I mean, do I need to be slim and trendy like you to be fit?
Well, when it comes to fitness, people always think that fitness being necessarily means being slim, being thin, but that is not what fitness is. Fitness is you having a healthy state of mind, body, soul, everything. It comes to play with fitness. So it's not just about, oh, I look slim, you think I'm fit. You might not be mentally fit, you might not be emotionally fit. So when it comes to fitness as a general term, it has to do with everything coming to play together as one. So your physical aspect has to come to play, your mental aspect has to come to play, your social aspect has to come to play for you to be seen as generally physically fit. So no, you don't have to be as slim as I am. You don't have to be a particular size to be fit. There is no classification of saying, oh, you have to be this to be fit. It has to do with how you feel and how you look personally.
Okay, we'll talk of this DMI. Oh, DMI.
Yes.
Anyhow, but we'll talk about that. I was going through your website and I saw that you had an experience
Yes.
of what you were and what you wanted to be. Tell us about your weight journey and why you thought you needed to do all you did to be what you are.
Okay, so in 2011, I left Nigeria to go and study in the Ukraine. I went to study medicine. Before I left, I was on the slim side, I would say. I wasn't necessarily fat. I was slim. I was okay with my weight and my body. But upon getting to Ukraine, I found that I started not eating the right foods, not doing the right things, and before I knew it, I gained a lot of weight without realizing in the process of gaining weight. So it was too late by the time I realized that, oh, I'm already overweight for, you know, my age and my height, my body type. I was overweight. So I had to, you know, try to do the right things to, because it was taking a toll on my confidence, on my self-esteem. I was down all the time. I was crying. I was depressed because of my weight. Yes, the thing is that yes, it gets that bad. But the thing is, people don't like to talk about it. People don't like to say the truth about how they feel about their weight because they want to give you this face that they are okay with it. They might be struggling, you know, internally with the weight because of, you know.
So it actually can cause you depression.
Yes, your weight definitely causes depression. Be it that you are too skinny, you could fall into depression because people are always asking you, don't you eat? You understand? Meanwhile, you know that you are eating, and people are asking you are too skinny, don't you eat? Or you're trying so hard to lose weight, and people are telling you, you've added weight. That's like the normal thing for Nigerians. The first thing when they see you is, you've added weight. They don't think.
Okay, so you now tell us your journey, how you...
So, yeah, so, you know, with me, I did a lot of things. I was looking for the fastest way to lose weight without having to do the hard work. Did so many things, tried taking slimming pills, tried dieting, starving myself and all of that, but nothing worked because those were not the right approaches to weight loss. So I had to step back, take my time, do some research, and found until I found the right way, systematic way that is scientifically proven to help with good, effective, and sustainable weight loss, which is the approach that I attend and took.
And physically exercises?
Yes. So the thing about weight loss is that it's not anything so big. It's not something that you should worry yourself about. It just has to do with eating healthy and working out. That is literally.
I just can't believe that you were ever bigger than this.
I weighed about 94 kg at a point. Yes,
okay,
I was that big. Yes.
Okay, yes.
So I was. So people don't believe when I tell them, and I show them the pictures, and then they can see.
I would love to see.
Yeah, I would definitely show you pictures.
Yes, please.
Most of our meal that we eat are carbs, starting from our rice. And you know, rice seems to be the staple, is the regular food on our table. Especially this foreign rice, they seem to have so much carbs, but that's not just what we eat. How can we, should I stop eating rice, or how can I can't stop eating rice. I can eat rice for Africa. If you have a competition, I can represent Nigeria now. Rice eating, yeah. So how can I actually stay healthy, or how can we actually, even preparing the rice, then I can remove some of, let's talk rice very briefly.
Okay, on the rice as...
You know, okay, we'll talk rice, then we can talk rice as against the other carbs that we have. the other things. So let's quickly touch it.
Okay, you cannot exclude rice from your meal.
I know.
That's the first thing.
You shouldn't even try it.
Because if you have absence of these carbohydrates in your meal, that begins to build up, and that's where the ketones in your body accumulate. The person has issues with being either hypoglycemic or having low sugar. You know, that's a
hypoglycemic.
That is low
sugar.
glucose or low sugar, and that is dangerous to the health. It's exposing the kidneys to a whole lot of things. So, in that aspect where you have your rice, the question we ask is, how do you prepare your rice? That is where we bring about the food verification, varying your food, diversifying your food, trying to create something from the rice. Like, it is rice, it's a cooked rice. There are so many meals you can make from rice. There's jollof rice, there's your fried rice, there's your coconut rice. Now, the question is, this rice I want to prepare, if I'm cooking coconut rice, what particular nutrient does coconut rice represent, and in what amount are those nutrients? Then what ingredients am I attaching? Because every ingredient preparing that rice counts. That's
okay. So that's where the diet becomes balanced. So okay, let's cook our rice right now. Okay. We have rice. That's the carbs, right? So where does pepper? Okay, we have oil. That's
where you have your fat.
That's where we have our fat.
You have your pepper. That is the veggies.
Pepper is the veggies, and sometimes we might want to put some other veggies.
Meat is there.
Meat is there. That's our protein.
Most times we add crayfish to it, which is a seafood.
Which is seafood. Okay, so it's almost perfectly balanced. So, but somehow we just still find that we still put on quite some weight doing all this.
The issue is for those foods now.
Actually, the foreign rice is against.
Can I put something about the rice? Okay, when it comes to carbohydrates, we've been made to see carbohydrates as the enemy.
I know.
But the truth is that carbohydrates is not the enemy. You need your carbohydrates for you to live and for you optimally. You need your carbohydrates. You need all classes of food. Your carbohydrates, your protein, your fats, your nutrients, your vitamins. You need it all. So when we're talking about carbohydrates, we need to classify it for people to understand why it is bad or good. So there are things we have two classes of carbohydrate: the complex carbs and the simple carbs. The simple carbohydrates is where we have the simple sugars, soft drinks, sweets, candies, white bread, donuts. Those are simple carbs. Those are the things that you can term as bad carbohydrates, because those things when you eat
simple now.
Yes, that's simple. No, when it's bad in the sense that
complex is supposed to be bad.
No, that's not it. That is the other way around.
Okay.
Simple in the sense that these things are caloric dense. You have a drink and it has, for example, a 500 ml of. I'm just giving an example of, say, a fruit juice that you just bought, a packaged juice that you don't know how it was made, and the 500 ml has 700 calories. For example, I'm just giving an example. Now that is a lot of for that amount of drink. You can get that amount of calories from eating 5 cups of rice. Do you understand? So that's where it comes to play. You have to now differentiate between the bad carbs and the same. So the complex carbs, those are the good carbs. This is what we term the good carbs, because those carbs, those are the things that you eat. They take time to digest in the body. Sorry, they digest fast in the body so that it doesn't store and become fat. Do you understand? So that's where
and that's why we have a rice curry.
Yes, so for example, that's where you have your rice, you have your even beans. That we Nigerians, we think beans is protein.
Is it not protein?
No, beans is a combination of carbohydrates and protein.
These people,
but it has more carbohydrates than protein. You find more carbohydrates in beans than protein. So that is why you have to know your classes of food. You have to know your food. You have to know what it contains. You don't just say, oh, carbohydrates are bad and I'm not going to eat carbohydrates. You need your rice, you need your potatoes, you need your yams, you need all of these things for your body to be able to function at an optimal. Your carbs give you energy. So if you don't have energy, you cannot
have just heard
function well.
That our dear beans also has carbs. And I don't know, these people keep adding and changing this thing. That is how English.
It's always been this way. Yes.
Okay,
but even in the bread that you mentioned as an example of the simple carbohydrate, it's not the bad carbohydrate.
No, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying they're called simple carbs.
Because even the rice itself is termed to be a simple carbohydrate too.
It depends on which kind of rice and also how you prepare. Because when it comes to brown rice is a complex carb.
How you prepare your rice and how you make them is, you know, that the truth about this whole thing is, what's in your simple and in your bad. These are carbons on their own.
Yes, of course.
1, 2, 3, and all, right?
Yeah.
Now, when these carbons come together, you know that even lactose itself, it's a double.
Yes,
listen, you have a combination of that sugar itself, which is the glucose and the galactose in it,
yes.
even in your fruits. Now, your ability to know how to consume it's healthy for the body.
Okay, while the doctor and the dietitian are discussing their things, you know what? There are two ladies doing very well, and I'm enjoying the chat with them. Now let's still talk about some ladies doing very well in Nollywood. Okay, before talking Nollywood, so you have so much to talk about. You know, just last weekend, the movies and the theaters, movies opened. Do you know? Did you guys go to watch? Any of you go to watch movies?
Yeah, sometimes.
Okay, she doesn't.
Not as often.
How do you
once in a while.
How do you
I just take myself out.
You just take yourself out. Anyhow, those of us that go to the movies, so the movies actually opened last week. So some movies are showing, and there are some protocols in place. Anyhow, I decided that let's take a look at some 5 ladies in Nollywood who are directors and are doing very well. So put this together. It was pretty interesting. Your favorite might be there. So let's say the top 5 ladies, well, maybe not top 5, 5 ladies directors in Nollywood.
The movie industry is mostly perceived to be a male domain when it comes to filmmaking. But contrary to that perception, the ladies are also making their mark, and boy, they're making it well and deep. In the past few years, there's been a surge in female directors and producers in Nollywood. Excitingly, these women have been making impactful contributions to the industry with their movies. Today, we celebrate some of them as they continue to break new frontiers and contribute significantly to the industry by pushing, setting records, inspiring, and telling refreshing kind of stories. We start with Ebony Life boss Mo Abudu. Ever since Mo Abudu ventured into film, turned herself into a reputable force on both the big screen and TV.
Please tell me that didn't just happen.
She's the brain behind The Wedding Party 1 and 2, the highest grossing movies in Nigeria, and most recently Chief Daddy, which is the 3rd highest grossing movie, and was a hilarious transition for Nigeria from 2018 to 2019. Other productions include 50, The Royal Hibiscus Hotel, The Governor, Desperate Housewives Africa, Sons of the Caliphate, and 50, the series. With all of this, Mo has become the first African to receive the Medal of Honor at Cannes, France, and of course a seat at the table as an Academy Director for the prestigious Emmy Awards. Next up is Kemi Adetiba. This New York Film Academy graduate started off as a music film director. Kemi Adetiba made her entry into Nollywood when she worked on Wedding Party 1 for Ebony Life Films. Adetiba is also responsible for series and documentaries that include Brotherhood and King Women. All of these successes led to the making of her second feature film, King of Boys, a political thriller that ruled 2018.
God's worst punishment in a person.
She has also been listed as a game changer in the African film industry. We take you next to Tope Oshin. She was the only film director on Mnet's hit soap opera Tinsel in its first 5 seasons, shooting about 350 episodes of the show. She's produced and directed several acclaimed movies such as 50, Journey to Self, In Line, amongst others. Series like Hush, Hotel Majestic, The Apprentice Africa, Sugar Season 3 and 6 are also works to her directorial credit. In 2016, she directed the documentary Amaka's Skin, The Women of Nollywood, a memorial to influential filmmaker Amaka in 2014, and had before her death paved the way for most female filmmakers. In 2018, she returned to the silver screens with New Money and Up North, and they were both TV successes. Next up is Genevieve Naji, who is one of the accomplished Nigerian movie stars with mentions in international media. She has featured in over 200 movies since her career kicked off 20 years ago. In 2015, Naji made her debut as a producer when she co-produced Road to Yesterday, which she also featured in. In 2018, she made her directorial debut with the movie Lionheart, and it became the first Nollywood movie to be acquired by Netflix before release. Naji has since signed a management deal with a top US talent management firm and has been working on new grounds to break into Hollywood.
This Igwe Pascal of a man gets a hold of our company. Everyone will lose their jobs. And they're all depending on me, and I feel like I'm free.
And finally for today, we hit our lights on Bjordan Stevens, an OAP who resigned her job to study filmmaking and script writing at the London Film Academy. She started with collaborations with Koga Entertainment in The Visit, which went on to open doors for her. Working with several individuals, Stevens made headlines again with the interesting drama Picture Perfect in 2017. In 2018, Stevens joined Tope Oshin as one of the female filmmakers working with Mnet and MultiChoice Nigeria to create content for Africa Magic. Her release of a faith-based feature, Joba, in 2019 has placed her on the radar again.
Promised me that I was going to be blessed in the womb on the day of our wedding.
Five female directors in Nollywood and doing very well. I look forward to more of their movies. If you're just joining us, the program is the Medley Show, coming to you from the Nigerian Television Authority here at the nation's capital, Abuja. Do send in your messages. I've seen some of your messages already coming in, and we are talking nutrition and diet and how to stay fit and healthy. And I've been talking with Dr. Kubi and dietitian Rosie. Now, let's talk about our famous wheat versus yam or gari, especially for diabetics. Doctors, you guys told these diabetes patients that they should avoid eating yams and all some of these things because of that. And we heard at the time that they could eat wheat. Then later we heard that it was for these people. It's better to even eat this than to eat. So for the diabetes, for instance, how can they manage between, tell us about this wheat and as against the others?
When it comes to swallows, because I think that's what you're talking about in particular,
yes.
the pounded yam, eba, sweet wheat and all of that. When it comes to swallows like that, when it comes to diabetics, rather, we are looking at the sugar content in their food, and we know that carbs content are high in sugar.
Okay.
So when we're telling them, oh, don't do this, don't do this, it doesn't mean, oh, completely do not eat yam or completely do not eat rice or whatever. We're telling them you have to watch the quantity that you are eating, because the higher you eat, the higher it's the risk for your blood sugar to go up. So we're not saying, oh, okay, you can never eat yam again, you can never eat potato again, but we tell them, okay, you have to be able to balance this out, do you understand, so that you have every class of food that you need for your blood sugar level to be.
Rosie, which contains more sugar, wheat or yam or gari?
You want to put me on the fix. You want to put me on the
yes,
fix. You know, I'm not supposed to be saying this contains this more, because once you do that, they pick that you have said.
Okay.
But the thing is, yes, but the thing is, for what she has said, based on these myths that people have been going on with, the question is, just like she said, the portion control. And again, a correction that there is nothing like a diabetic diet. The most important thing is those things you have been taking before. Coming back to the dietitian for a review to check the quantities, because then we now have to go through our food composition tables and exchange and tell you this is what it contains in these. Like you say, I'm eating just a small wrap, 15 naira wrap of gari. It's not too small. Do you get? And somebody is taking maybe half of it. There are so many things that we check as dietitians before we tell you that this is higher. and this is higher in this one, that you should exempt this, you should exempt that. Then there are other myths like don't take banana and granite. Plantain is high in iron. There are so many of the egg, the egg yolk. You take the egg white, you throw away the egg yolk. There are so many of them. But once you do that, you are exempting those nutrients, because one thing about nutrients is that they are interchanged. Yeah. You get A from B and B from C.
Okay. Now, how do I know how much calorie I'm eating or I'm taking in? I mean, because you tell us calories per serving, especially when you check. Behind the, you know those packed food you buy, beverage and all those medication, they tell you calories per serving. So how do I know in my regular meal, how do I know calories per serving? When I buy these other things, how do I know how much is the calories I'm taking?
That is when you meet, that one, it's something that is individualized. The dietitian has to go through her usual dietary protocols in taking out the medical nutrition therapy. A lot of things will be put
normal English
to check, like a lot of things will be put to check. And what's most important is a lot of people think when I tell you now that eat 1 grams of this is this to exchange. Foods are different. We weigh when they are raw and weigh when they are cooked. Do you get?
Okay, wait now. I've just cooked whatever it is I cook.
Don't worry.
We need to know what is calories per serving. They say, okay, no, you know what I do to developed country? They tell you that don't take so much calories in your meal. This is calories.
Can I chip in?
Yes, please.
In Nigerian meal, okay, that way you might all this information you have on the internet. That's the truth about the matter. But before you even want to know what calories do you take per meal, you have to know what is your daily recommended calorie intake for you, because everyone has different requirements for a day.
How do I know that one now?
For example, a lot of things have to come into play. So we'll take your age, your weight, your height, and we'll also check your activity level. So if you're someone that isn't exercising or moving about a lot, your caloric intake has to be lesser than someone that is exercising, because with exercising, they are able to burn off some of the calories. So if someone that is not working out or is not exercising, you cannot expect the person to take 2,500 calories for a lady, for example, in a day, compared to someone that is working out.
What is 2,500 calories?
And other 2,500 calories is 2,500. The calories means the energy that is contained in each food. So for example, I know why you're confused. So for example, now a cup of rice, Nigerian rice, is said to contain about 225 calories.
A cup of Nigerian rice?
About that. So it depends
from the foreign rice too.
Well,
okay, just a cup of rice. 500 calories.
225 to it depends on what measuring cup you are using, you understand. So that's why it's better to measure in grams, I would say, because people's cup sizes would differ. So if you say 100, for example, 100 grams.
That's like a milk cup. Is that not what they call a cup?
But that cup for you might not be cup for me. Someone else might take a tea cup that is bigger and call it their cup. So that is why it's better to measure in grams, for example. So 100 grams of rice is what will give you about 225 grams calories.
So when I cook it, and I'm supposed to be taking how many?
2,000. So for example, if someone like you might need to be taking about 2,000 to 2,200 calories a day, depending on your physical activity.
I have that one in my rice already.
You
taking 250. I have
exactly. You have 2,000 left, which is not bad, because the thing is that carbohydrates most times they have more calories than the other ones. So once you have that, once you now put your other vegetables, your balance, you can have a full plate of meal that is 600 calories, and you will be full and satisfied and be okay. And breaking that into 3, you will still get your normal 2,200 calories in a day.
Well, so Rosie, you are itching to add something.
It's not so difficult.
I think I'm going to enjoy this thing between the dietitian and the doctor, because the dietitian will just look like in our training.
This is I don't want to. No,
but I like it. No, please, counter. No, there are diverse opinions about this.
Yeah, definitely, there are diverse opinions. So that's why we are here.
Whoa.
Yes.
I was just kindly listening to her and what she was saying concerning the calories and the amount of energy contained in each meal, and trying to say 220.
I said about, so it could be higher, it could be lower. There's no fixed.
Plus or minus.
Yeah, exactly. It's always a plus or minus.
Okay.
You can't say it's a fixed amount because you don't know what measurement each person is using.
Okay. All right. No, just take them because I have some messages I would like to take quickly.
Not
You want to, no, I
the question.
I just don't like the fact that you're holding back your thoughts. Please, leave it there.
So,
Madam Dietitian,
Ma,
you want to study this. Tell us your opinion.
my opinion is, for the general public now, for the general public, there are some situations where this 2005 you recommended is not needed. Just like she said, a lot of things come to play, the age, the weight. Now, in the age and weight and other things she added to it, BMI is not enough to say you've gotten somebody's estimated or ideal body weight to bring out the particular, the measured amount that can continue with other calculations you'll be doing to make sure that this person now is getting this exchange for this exchange perseverance, right? We do. When you're talking about energy now, a lot of things come to play. There's energy when you're resting, there's energy when you're in activity. Now, what we consider more is the energy resting, that is the BMR. There is a formula for it. Now that starts, that starts.
There's something you want to know about.
You know, guys, very important.
No, but she said she actually wanted to mention that the BMI.
The BMI, body mass index thing.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll come to that. So many messages are coming in. I want us to take as many messages as possible. Thank you for your contributions and your questions. We'll take them. So I'll run through some of these questions. We'll take them as quickly as possible so we can take much more. Hello, I'm Mrs. Hall from Makurdi. I had a baby last year May. I experienced prolonged labor. This baby cannot sit nor talk, or not to talk of walking. Talking about fitness, she's very fat right from birth. So I don't know if there's a problem with them. Please help me. I don't know what to do again.
What's the age of the child?
She said she got a baby last year, May. Yeah. Yes, I had a baby last year, May. That's a little over a year, and the baby cannot sit, not to talk of walk. So what does she do? We'll take that out quickly. How do I stay fit? How do I stay fit despite not slim? Well, I don't know. Confused. Please send your message again. Good day, ladies. To avoid body pains, what type of exercise do I need to avoid body pains? And I'll add to that, Kubi, for those people who sit in offices who have back pain, you might want to tell us what to do. That's so we have the ladies' question. Then what's the best rice for food for one with diabetes? One name from Owerri. Hi, my name is Blessing from Ojota. You guys are doing great. So how can someone get rid of this weight without skipping food or keeping yourself quickly?
So which do you want to start
who
with?
wants to take the lady with the 5 year?
I'll start with the last one, without skipping your meal, or what's the second question?
So how do I, without skipping meal and keeping yourself hungry?
You don't have to skip meal. That's the first thing. You don't have to skip meal. No matter how busy you are, try to adjust your schedule. Try to, wake up early in the morning. You can prepare your meals and keep them in packages. The reason is you're avoiding visiting some of these eateries and you don't know what they use in preparing their meals. We're avoiding some of these artificial sweeteners in our food, right? And adjust your meal timing as well, because once you skip meal, you've encroached the meal you're supposed to be taking for, let's say, maybe breakfast to the lunch. And
yeah, that reminds me. You tell us, take breakfast like a king, lunch like a prince, and dinner like a pauper.
Okay.
But I don't know. So we need to talk when we take our meal, what kind of meal we take, because around here I think we actually have it the other way. We take breakfast like the king, I don't know, we just change it. So I want us to talk about that and the timing that we take this, but that will be right after we get back from this very short break.
She cries. She cries in anguish and in pain. She bears the scourge of her grief. She toils in vain for justice and succumbs to silence. He gloats over his malady. Like a beast, he pounces with no remorse. Her cry means nothing. Her pain feeds her shame. Like an orphan, she's left to grieve in solitude. But no more will she cry in vain. Her adversaries will henceforth bear the brunt of their cruelty. Rape is evil. Rape is a plague, a pandemic of monumental consequences. We must unite and kick it out of our society.
Connect with NTA and stand against rape and rapists. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA.
Just before that break, we had a couple of messages we needed to take. And Dr. Kumi, would you want to take the lady from Makodi who had prolonged labor? Her baby is a little over a year and cannot sit, not to talk of walk.
Yes, so in a case like that, where there was prolonged labor, that means that there might have been some damage brain during childbirth. So that's not something that she can handle herself at home. It's something that you need to go to the hospital. You'll be asked a series of questions. You would have a series of tests performed, because it could be something like, it could be that the child has something called cerebral palsy, which delays development in children. So it's not something that she can handle by herself at home. It's not something that I can be able to tell her over the
okay, I'll send her your social media handle
sure,
to reach you, so
sure.
you can talk to
then
her.
We can talk and then.
All right, okay, good. So my name is Success. Must you eat food containing the 6 classes of food?
The answer is simple yes, because that's what makes you adequate and live healthy, except there is a disease condition that needs thorough monitoring and telling you to restrict these and reduce these, avoid these, and such issues can now lead to one exempting some nutrients and increasing more.
Yeah, and that question leads to the next one, and this one is from OBJ Lokoja. And OBJ, I'll quickly advise you, try not to, we don't want calling of names. I see that your messages was pretty making a sense, but you actually started calling names. So I'll just take a little part. Good day, ma. Most people are aware of balanced diet, but they lack finances to eat well. So I would ask you, how can I eat balanced without actually emptying my account? I mean, what's around me that I can eat?
Balanced diet is accessible to everybody. That's the interesting thing about the whole thing. Or adequate nutrition, that's the correct word.
Adequate nutrition,
adequate
okay.
diet is accessible to everybody. There are local foods that are rich in those nutrients that
definitely.
we think they're not there. We like for those people who may not want to reach out for the fish, the chicken,
Yes.
the turkey. We have our seafoods, right? We have our seafoods like our crayfish. Stockfish is a seafood too.
Okay.
Now it all depends on how we prepare them, knowing that these seafoods, especially for one now who is hypertensive, and we want to reduce water retention that makes the arteries to increase flow of blood. We now tell those people that what they need to do is, in preparing those stockfish, you need to just try to wash with lukewarm or and not cold water,
Take out the
so that they
salts.
can absorb and try to extract
Some of
that.
the extra salt.
All right, thank you. This person, you don't have your name written here. Good day, Cecil. I love your program. Thank you very much. I want you to direct my question to your guest. How can we cook rice to avoid too much starch? And how can we complete our daily meal with a balanced diet? Someone else says, my name is Sunday from Ilorin. Please, what is the volume of starch good for the body? Which of the starch is best for our body? Then contains calories, yes. Someone else says, I need Dr. Kubiat's contact. Okay, sure, I'll get it across to you. How much carbohydrates and proteins are required per day for a person to be fit? Okay, you talked about weight loss. What about weight gain for a person with diabetes? Okay. So any of these questions you want to take, please let me know. For someone who weighs between 50 and the person is above 30 years, what will dietitian and doctor advise? Jerry from Uniport. He weighs about 50, he weighs between 50, he didn't say between 50 to what, and the person is above 30 years. What will the dietitian and the doctor advise?
I think that's something that the person has to meet the dietitian personally for.
Yeah,
For us to
because
thoroughly run,
the person would need to be assessed to see if you're actually underweight.
Yes, a lot of things
or not.
will come to play.
You understand?
All right, I'll send you contact to the person. So you talk about weight loss. What about the weight gain for a person with diabetes?
That as well. Person might need to be given a meal plan. You understand? A plan that would help the person, tell the person, okay, this is the kind of food you should be eating. This is the kind of food you should be avoiding.
I think they should already have their doctors.
I feel what happened to that person was the person was being given information of avoid this, avoid that. Rice is sugar, yam is this, and the person began to drop. You know, the weight of that person began to drop and drop. The body begins to feed on the fatty foods you get, and that's what falls back to what I was talking about initially. So that person needs to correct everything from start to finish, knowing that there is nothing like a diabetic diet.
Okay, there's nothing like a diabetic diet. CBO from Enugu, please. My father usually stay indoors. How many calories is seriously? How many calories is needed? I don't understand the question. Then, hello, my name is Odunayo. I'm from Ikorodu. I am a fat boy. How can I reduce my weight? How old are you? You didn't tell us. Hi ladies, I've been keeping myself fit, but I still feel pains in my knee. What's the issue? This is Dynamic from Dynamic David from Calabar.
I think that person needs to see a physiotherapist. They would advise better on what, you know, the physical therapists go beyond.
Yeah, they would need to, the cause of the knee pain needs to be ascertained first. Is it arthritis that is causing it? And then the person could be given
He's a young
medication.
man. He's a young boy.
But arthritis, it can affect any age.
Yes.
And
it
weight
doesn't matter.
too, and
yes,
weight
definitely
too.
weight.
And I feel the person has gone through this rigorous exercise. That's why I said the person has to meet a physical therapist, because you know they go beyond that exercise of a thing. They diagnose and tell you what's healthy for you.
Okay, we still have so many messages. I'll look at your messages now, but take a break and I'll be back.
I didn't really have any friends within the perimeter of the estate, like any friends close by, except for one of my friends, Wegba. But I never really got to go to his house. His mom and my mom are like the closest of friends, but like everyone is scared of this COVID-19, so we don't go to their house anymore. My name is Farouk, and what I like most in life is reality. Reality is the one place that you can make all your fantasies and imaginations come true. I have passion for art. I just want to learn and create. My mom is very protective. I don't want to say overprotective. We were preparing for exam, submitting our notes like that, and then suddenly this lockdown was very depressing. Like I felt hopeless, like helpless, sleepless, lonely.
For the kids being at home and not being able to go out and play like they usually used to, they're cooped up in the house. They exhaust most of the playthings they have, the games, everything. And you know, being cooped up in the house with just your siblings and your parents is really not interesting.
I couldn't sleep. I couldn't relate to anyone.
You calling him every day to sit him down and ask him, I call him, is there anything wrong with you? Is there anything you want to tell mom about? And he'll be like, no mom, I'm fine. And you see the clock ticking, and your child is not sleeping, and you have to stay away to see if there is anything wrong with him.
My dad was doing everything. Like he sent a lot of money so that my mom could take me to the hospital.
He's not sleeping. You know, like he's truly not sleeping. Everybody is sleeping. My child is not sleeping.
I had like 12 days having this sleeping problem. Being sleepless at night finally made me realize that I have time to practice. I have time to bring all my ideas to life.
So during his sleepless nights, he can actually sketch through the nights until maybe 7 a.m. So sketching is kind of part of it. He still sketches actually, even if there is no light. He has his torchlight, his flash.
I'm happy that during this time of lockdown, I discovered my artistic side, my brilliant artist inside of me, and I will keep being inspired, encouraged, and I work hard even beyond lockdown. Now I am happy that my brothers and my parents are seeing my artworks for what they truly are. They are seeing them and they are encouraging me to continue. Even my brother Abakar, that never paid attention to them, is now my #1 fan.
All right, that was titled Sleepless. Now, one of you, our viewers, being as well, you actually sent that in some time back as one of the works you did while on lockdown. She said she was actually trying her production skills, and she put together that in her estate. Very good piece there, being as well. All right, the program is Medley Show, and we are gradually running up. This is the last lap of the program, and we'll be talking nutrition and diet. You have been sending in your messages. I see them. Thank you very much. I hope we're answering your questions. Now, earlier I talked about breakfast like a king, lunch like a prince, like a pauper. So what are the right time to take what meal, and how heavy are the meals that we take at these times? Quickly.
Okay, breakfast like a king. I'm going to be giving a general menu. We advise your breakfast should be within 7 to 8 a.m.
I'm waking up.
12 to 1. Then
12 to 1 is lunch.
p.m.
That's for lunch, right?
For lunch.
Okay.
Then for the supper, not dinner, because we avoid calling it dinner. If you call it dinner, that means the person is expecting another meal after it. Okay. So, but once it's supper, it's not like a lost supper.
Dinner is the one that someone say, can I take you out for dinner? Okay,
yeah.
That's dinner.
So that person can take from 7 to 8. You know, some people do this.
What do we take at that time?
The meals we take is that we encourage you take your lighter meals for the morning, because you're trying to refuel the energy that has been expended while resting. Okay. You know, those energy, you needed it now to carry on the activity for the day. Then the lunch is within. We don't want to say heavy, because somebody will just use four wraps of fufu on the soup, right? That should be monitored as well. You can have your eba with soup, your rice and beans, but always avoid repeating your diet. We call it monitored dieting. Dinner? It's wrong. Then the dinner, you can take your light meals as well, because at that point you're going to rest, and the body does not need so much workload during digestion while sleeping.
Rosie, you see this pounded yam and ogbono soup. Do you know that they are tastier from 9 p.m. to 10? That's when they're actually more inviting.
So I hear.
Oh no, when you just get back from work, you just see the ogbono, the taste. When you just, oh no, it's so, I know, it's so tempting to
it's not a sin to take those, but like I said, quantity matters.
Everything goes down to portion control.
The quantity matters. And I was adding to something. I said there are some persons who are they eat, but they eat frequently. Like they can be taking their meals 7 times in a day. You don't condemn such people. What you just tell them to do is small but frequent, and monitor what they take. Avoid them taking all these snacks and all these things that they sell around, because they can also cause more harm to their health, especially in the hypertensive and the diabetic. So you can't stop them from eating frequently. Okay,
good day. I'm Mrs. Patrick from Ilori. I've been suffering from ulcer. Please, what kind of meal is suitable for me? Wow. Okay, I guess we're actually running out of time, so I would like to take last words from you generally. What's the take home for you both?
The take home for me is adequate nutrition is key. If you talk about your health, you're talking about nutrition. And the one key thing that makes nutrition impossible for man is so try to control what would control you. That's the way I put it now. Try to manage your stress, because at the end of the day, our nutrition can only be absorbed when your mental well-being is
all right,
in order.
could be health and fitness expert as well as a medical doctor. Your last words.
I would say for one to have optimal health, you have to eat the right kind of food, just like she said, and exercise. There's no two ways about it. It's not rocket science. You just have to do the right things and you get the right result that you're looking for.
All right, and from me, it's thank you very much. I would like you to really stay healthy. The 6 classes of food, or at least most of the classes as you can put in the meal. Stay healthy, because I would like to see you again next week. My name is Cecil Egbele, and this has been the Medley Show. See you next week.
Thank you.
Thank you.